phones, screen time, computers, and technology. Are these things taking over children's lives and possibly ruining them? Well, the debate about this topic is as lively as ever. But what do the kids that these people are talking about actually think? Do they agree or not?
Do I think screen time causes anxiety? I feel like in a way it could, because say you're not happy and you're having not a great day, you can look on Instagram or Snapchat or anything and see that other people are doing a bunch of crazy exciting things, and then you're not doing those things, so you could be a little upset about that because you think maybe your life is boring. And also it cuts off interaction with actual humans, which can therefore, I feel, make you depressed. I feel like it could also cause a lot of drama because say you're in a group chat and then someone gets added into that group chat and then they weren't supposed to be added, and then you were actually talking about people, and then people could go and tell other people what you were saying in the group chat, and that could cause drama with other people. It could create big issues, and then that could lead to people not talking to each other, and somebody could not maybe text you right after, and you could think they're mad at you because they're not replying to you, but in reality they were doing something. And I feel like that could cause a lot of confusion, and because a lot of times people don't write sentences properly, I guess, so it could be taken the wrong way. Maybe if you're just replying and you're okay, nobody would know if that's just okay, or if it's salty, I guess.
So I think the main reason that causes all the anxiety and depression is social media. I don't have social media, so I think that's the reason why I'm not depressed or have anxiety because of screen time. And it's really nice to not have social media. It's quite refreshing because I don't have to deal with drama or wanting what somebody else has. And so, but there are small things that I do want. I guess whenever I come to school, people are always talking about social media. And, oh, hey, did you see that on Instagram, or did you see that on Snapchat? And a little part of me wants that, but most of me doesn't. And it's nice to not have to worry about that.
Do I think social media can cause anxiety and depression? Yes, definitely. The reason behind that is because I would say social media is almost like a political rally. There's two sides, and both sides are battling against each other almost. Social media is basically just about popularity almost. It's a battle between likes, comments, shares, just about anything like that. I mean, the way it can cause anxiety is people can think, I want to be like this person, I want to look like this person, I want to live like this person, I want this person's lifestyle. And that kind of factors in to being angst, as Grant says. So basically, I mean, a big factor also into that can be just cyberbullying. I mean, I think almost everyone who is on social media has at least went through that at least once, not even depending on the severity of it, but at least me, I've had lots of experiences where people wanted to judge me on how I act, how I looked, my weight, just how I just don't live the life that other people want me to live. So that can, there's been a few times where I've definitely felt really anxious, and I felt pretty sad, not depressed, but pretty sad. And honestly, it's almost it can put you down really easily, because the things that people say, it really gets to you, especially on an app like Instagram or Snapchat. And another reason that it can cause anxiety and or depression is on Snapchat, for example, there's a application called YOLO, and what that is basically you post on your story that people can send you anonymous messages that then you share on your story for other people to showcase, basically. So a lot of people have had instances where rude stuff and rumors have been spread throughout that app, and a lot of people, it just gets to them. This subject is honestly, it's a little hard for me to talk about, but last summer, or this past summer, there's a lot of comments regarding my weight, based on, please stop filming.
Well, those kids certainly had some strong opinions about phones and technology.
Next, we talk to Lily Ewald. She is a 8th grader at Pike School of Learning, and she has some interesting thoughts on social media.
Hi, my name is Lily Ewald. I'm 13 years old, and I have Instagram and TikTok. So I think that social media could cause anxiety and depression, but I also think that it's a good way for people to interact with like their friends and things like that. But if things do end up getting out of hand with like drama or cyberbullying and things like that, I do think that it could lead to depression and anxiety. My only experience with cyberbullying was when one of my friends posted a picture in her bathing suit, and she was starting to get like really body confident and things like that because she's like a different size than other people. So a lot of the comments are saying like, oh, so pretty, beautiful, keep on being you. But other people were saying like, ugly, you look fat and that, like, and it was just rude. So I just told people like, stop, because she's starting to get really confident about herself, so you don't want to bring her self-esteem down.
Next, we talk to Matthew David Allen, a freshman at George Washington University. He has many thoughts to share on this topic.
I'm Matthew Allen. I'm a freshman studying political science and economics at the George Washington University. I think social media does cause anxiety in some cases, but in others actually serves to alleviate anxieties, which can be good in some cases, but certainly bad in other cases. For example, we saw definitely in the 2016 election, people were being brought on to sites such as Reddit or 4chan, social media platforms like Facebook and YouTube as well. People with anxieties about their lot in life, economic anxieties, racialized economic anxieties, and these websites were telling people you can blame immigrants, you can blame people of color, you can blame Muslims and Jews for your economic anxieties and your economic problems. And then, of course, it was also an opportunity for Russian troll and bot farms to be spreading misinformation, fake news, and lies to these people. So I think there is definitely a strong correlation between the advent of the internet. This was the election where the internet has been most used, the past one, the 2016 election. I think we can link that to the election of Donald Trump, because it gave an opportunity for the extreme fringes in our society to rise up, the alt-right, and then it also gave an opportunity for these organizations to bring in new members, not just rise to prominence, but bring in new members by, for example, on YouTube, if you watch one video, you get recommended similar videos, and so you fall further and further into a rabbit hole of misinformation until you're one of the people marching on the streets of Charlottesville, yelling, "Jews will not replace us," and killing a young girl. And so it's unfortunate that we have to think about really incredible inventions like social media in this way, but we definitely, as a society, need to think about the adverse effects that social media can have on our election cycle, and better regulate that from the end of consumers as well as on the end of the people running those platforms. Companies like Facebook, companies like Twitter, companies like Google, they need to do a better job of combating hate, of combating misinformation and lies, and making sure that our election system is secure and protected.
We meet with Principal Patrick Bucco of Woodhill Middle School, who maybe isn't a kid, but certainly works with kids every day and has seen the effects of screen time on their behavior and work in the school.
Hello, my name is Patrick Bucco. I am principal at Woodhill Middle School here in Andover, Massachusetts, and I am also a father of three, 18-year-old son, 16-year-old son, and a 14-year-old daughter. So do I think overuse of screen time definitely does cause anxiety. I'm not sure about the depression, but I see where you cannot deal with life if you don't deal with your problems, and overuse of screen time, you're avoiding what you are dealing with. So in other words, you have a problem, you're not dealing with it at the moment, instead you're avoiding and getting in front of your screen and avoiding what the problem is. Eventually that problem will catch up to you, which then you don't know how to deal with, hence anxiety. Experience as far as social media, being a father, I think my children get it at the end of 6th grade, which I wish I could have avoided it longer. Depending on my child, they're all in high school now. Some don't seem to get caught into it, where my oldest really seem to get caught into it more. So I think sometimes it's a personality thing on how they handle it. Principal-wise, I see way too much screen time, and I can speak that I'm as guilty as others, as well as teachers are and staff. So I don't think this is a student problem, this is a societal problem that we need to figure out. So disconnect to reconnect, that obviously came around the issue around the whole screen time, where, if we look and see, and you talked about the anxiety and the question around anxiety, where we see an increased anxiety with our students and really the population in general. So I think the more we can kind of step away and just be with each other, be in nature, and look to see what else is out there available beyond YouTube and the different apps that are available, and just be in life. So that is the idea of really giving students and adults ideas of what can you do in lieu of being in front of your screen. So that is disconnect to reconnect.
Next we meet with Cameron Wood, an ELA teacher in 8th grade at Woodhill Middle School. What does he have to say about this so-called epidemic?
Hi, I'm Mr. Wood, and I teach 8th grade English here at Woodhill Middle School. So, I believe that social media screen time certainly can cause anxiety and depression. While I do think that social media overall is a good thing, it's a great way for friends to reconnect who don't get to see each other. It's a great way to share information about causes that you're really passionate about. When people misuse social media, it can cause anxiety and depression. The way that I see social media is that if you are going to say something on social media, it should be something that you're willing to and that you would want to say to someone's face. Things can easily be said over a screen that are very hurtful. You can sort of hide behind that screen. So I think that if you are willing to say something to someone's face, you really should say it to their face and not over social media. And that sort of animosity, that bullying, is one of the worst parts about social media. You can easily say something to bully someone, to make them feel bad about themselves, and not really see the impact that it has on the person who you're speaking to. But if people are using social media the way it was supposed to be used, to share funny things, to share memes, to make people laugh, to make connections between people who live countries miles away, then that's the way that social media should be used. And overall, I think that students at our school do a great job navigating those waters, that they are really kind to each other. They live up to the ideals of treating people that they want, the way they want to be treated, being the person you want to be outside of school, inside of school. Certainly interesting being a teacher in this new age of social media, because I remember when I was around high school was when things like Facebook, Instagram, those were really starting to catch popularity. And now for students who are in middle school to have it is certainly interesting, because I never had to worry about those things when I was in middle school. I lived a social media free life for most of my education, so it's always interesting to know that my students are trying to navigate the waters of social media a lot younger than I had to navigate those waters. But the students here at Woodhill Middle School are all fantastic. I know that they're making the right choices on social media, if they have social media at all. So I have the utmost confidence that they make the right choices, because I see them in school. The school culture we have at Woodhill, a place where everybody belongs, I think translates to the way that they use social media. At least I hope it would. And I think that if we have more people like our students out there on social media, spreading positivity, awareness about important issues, then it'll be a better place moving forward for everyone on social media. It's always interesting to think about the idea of social media as an educator, because I remember back when I was a student, up until high school, I didn't have social media myself. I didn't have it through middle school. I didn't get it until about junior year of high school, around when I started college, actually, when I got an Instagram, stuff like that. So to think about students this age on social media is a little bit scary, just knowing the world that's out there with social media. But I know that the students at Woodhill Middle School really live up to the idea of promoting a place where everybody belongs, not only in our school, but in the world around them. Having voices like that on social media, those voices of positivity, of inclusion, I think will work to make social media a better place. I would just urge all the students at Woodhill Middle School, and really everywhere, just to stay safe on social media, just to make sure that you are making good choices on social media. That can be a really bad place if you let it be a bad place, but just to work to make social media a better place, not just in Andover, but everywhere, since it spreads everywhere.
So, throughout this entire documentary, we've seen multiple opinions of people, kids, teachers, and there's still that lingering question. Does screen time cause anxiety or depression, and is it truly affecting these kids negatively? And we may never know the answer to that question. But if I had to say one thing, I would say live your life. Life is short, and if we always stay in our screens, we'll never get to experience what life is truly about. To make friends, to see places you've never seen before, to experience experiences that you may only experience once in your lifetime. So, stay off your phones, or stay on your phones. Because honestly, it's all just a cyber debate.